I've decided to become a cleric.
Cool. That's great, man. What temple are you worshiping at?
I'm a cleric of video games.
Oh, that's great. What do you guys...
See, I've even got my own holy symbol.
That's really cool.
Yeah. But instead of like healing or harming people, I just take their time and money away.
Hey everybody, welcome to GameGorgon. My name is Krug.
I'm Indigo.
Today we're here to talk to you about the Cleric in Pathfinder 2nd Edition Beta, Alpha? Playtests. This episode brought to you by Indigo's insane desire to worship Cthulhu.
Problem with Cthulhu is that it's all about chaos.
Right.
So it would just be like, I'm gonna roll a percent die, and if I roll on odd, it's gonna heal people.
Ooh.
If it's uneven,
and you have to choose your target first.
And if it's uneven, it's gonna harm people.
That would be fun.
But we're not there yet. Let's go back.
Calm
a little
down. Stay with us. Don't get ahead.
Let's go back a little bit. Cleric is a new class that they have given us a little bit of new information about, and by new class I mean
very old class.
It's the same Cleric class. It's going to be a holy caster, basically. Think the Paladin, which we talked about previously. The lawful good Paladin here for the job. Yeah, it was a martial class that had spellcasting abilities. Well, this is a spellcasting class that can lean towards martial if they decide to. We did get a piece of information about how the mechanics work of class choosing that we didn't previously have.
Yeah, if you pick a class, you get a +2 bonus to that class's primary attribute. Regardless of your race or any other choices, that's a function of your class now, which is really cool because it, makes it a little more realistic in terms of how your character is built. Like, through my training as a cleric, I did become a little wiser. So it makes sense that in and of itself would give you a bonus.
Yeah, so clerics are going to be receiving their +2 bonus in wisdom. That just allows for just hardcore stacking.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, okay, I'm gonna choose a race that has wisdom bonus. I'm gonna choose a background feat that gives me a wisdom bonus.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna choose cleric, which gives me a wisdom bonus.
Perfect. Now note that does only happen at level 1. As you progress to level 2, 3, 4, if you decide to multi-class, the attributes that you pick because of your leveling is supposed to represent how your training affected your character, right?
Correct.
So only level 1.
Similar to paladins, they're going to have to live by a set of rules or regulations that are associated with their god and deity. It's not nearly as strict as the paladin, where they have this code of conduct that makes them a paladin.
Like a hierarchy of rules from one to the other.
Yeah.
If you want to know more about it, click the video in the description link, click it, watch it.
But with the cleric, it is just based off of the god that you choose. There isn't an overarching rule set because deities range from such a wide.
Yeah, like pure evil to good incarnate.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So if there was one guiding principle, it would be listen to me.
Yeah, yeah, and we didn't get really a good sample of what they were. One of them is if you're worshiping a god of honesty, you can't really cast spells that give you bonuses to lying. Right. But they kind of left it open to interpretation.
DM interpretation.
Exactly. So it's well, you're not lying, but you're using it to assist someone else in lying. So I'm gonna not give that to you. You know, it's it allows the game or the table to make the decision.
Right. No!
Previously in Pathfinder 1st Edition, depending on how high your wisdom was, which is your class's primary stat, you would gain bonus spell slots.
Right.
They've gotten rid of that system now.
Okay.
And I actually kind of like it. I feel it's way more streamlined. There's a lot less confusion of oh, well, I have an 18, so I get a +1 spell slot to 1st and 2nd, 3rd, but I don't get 1 to 4th. And
already confused.
So how it's going to work is every even level, so 2nd, 4th, so on, you're going to gain 1 spell slot in the highest current spell slot that you know. Going from 1st to 2nd, you gain 1 spell slot in your 1st level spell slot. Every odd level, you're going to gain 2 spell slots of the next level. Going from 2nd level, where you have 3 first level spells, and going into level 3, you're going to gain 2 2nd level spells.
Right.
It kind of caps out at 3 spells max, which means that level 18 is your last level that you're going to be gaining spell slots.
And then at level 19, you become a legendary caster. And what that means is, I don't know. They didn't say what it meant. It didn't really mean anything in Pathfinder 1st Edition either, right? That wasn't a thing that we could find at the very least.
Yeah, I think it's going to be something similar to how armor was with the Paladin. You know how the Paladin could get like advanced and legendary armor, where it increases the proficiency of armor. Maybe it's going to increase the proficiency of your spell attacks.
Yeah, maybe based on
guessing.
Guessing. Speculation. Could be wrong. Don't hold us to it. Next, we're going to talk about Channel Energy, which is the Pathfinder equivalent of Dungeons and Dragons Channel Divinity. Except for way better, because Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition Channel Divinity is probably the most restrictive and boring feature of any class in the game, whereas Channel Energy is very versatile and scales with your spell slot level, your maximum spell slot level. Based on the god that you choose, your Channel Energy is either going to be heal or harm. And you're going to be able to use Channel Energy 3 times plus your Charisma modifier.
And that's per day, so Charisma bonus plus 3.
For the life of your character. I don't think charisma is necessarily a primary stat.
It's a secondary stat.
Yeah, it's a secondary one, but you're not going to be able to dump into it and be able to channel energy 14 times a day at some point.
No.
I mean, never, because that'd be a high modifier. That'd be insane.
The most charismatic cleric in history.
Right.
His charm is so contagious, vaccines have been created for it. He is the most
charismatic cleric in history. What's nice about it is because it's going to scale with your highest level spell slot. Even with a charisma modifier of 1, you're going to be able to do that 4 times, which is a huge amount of healing done, like
without spending any spell slots.
Exactly.
So you can focus on other things to make yourself useful.
And then you can turn around and use those lower level spell slots that aren't going to be as useful in combat anymore to add additional healing if you want.
Right. Depending on the situation, right?
It makes the character more diverse. You're not going to have to always, I'm the cleric, so I have to at least prep cure light wounds 4 times. This adds and
they've gotten you to like a minimum level of efficiency without you really having to think about it.
Yeah, they're like, you can always heal, you can either always heal or you always harm. Done. Cool, next.
Yeah. Now do the flavorful fun stuff that you actually want to play the cleric for.
Yeah. Now we talked about feats a little bit about Channel Energy, but there's also a lot of other really fun feats that you get. Now you get a feat every other level for cleric,
which is nutso,
except for 12th and 16th level because your spell save DC goes up, and so it's kind of like a trade-off. The level of flavor and the level of utility that this adds to the cleric is really fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, these are some of the ones that they labeled, and there's a ton more, but like, just listen to these. The first one is Communal Healing. Whenever you heal an ally, or not even an ally, just if you heal someone, you're going to then also heal yourself a little bit.
Yeah, you don't have to decide between, well, if I die, nobody gets healed, but if he dies, everyone else is also going to die very quickly.
Exactly. So this is kind of keeping your group together. Turn Undead is another one, which is a feature that has been kind of removed or doesn't exist anymore.
It used to be kind of a staple of the class. Yeah. Now they've taken it away because not every campaign really calls for it, and like you can fill that slot with something more useful for your environment.
And it honestly didn't.
Like if you're fighting an assassin's guild and it's just a bunch of assassins and that's your campaign.
Well, and it also didn't make sense for every single deity to give their cleric that power.
That's true.
I'm gonna worship the god of music and art.
Oh.
Why would I have Turn Undead?
I don't know.
This will allow...
Turn Undead fabulous.
The Turn Undead feat will allow you to use heal, and if there is undead within your range, and they critically fail, it will cause them to run away in fear, which is great. Yeah. I mean, like, it adds it if that works for your campaign, and it's the kind of character you want to build.
Yep.
What?
This concept should have been figured out a decade ago.
Now, those aren't the only feats. There's also a whole entire slew of meta magic feats, which will extend or enhance or power up your spells as a whole. That's just going to continue to make your character unique, yeah. And the thing that I really like about this is, like, previously with clerics, it was like you get a bunch of stuff level 1. And I think druids kind of have that problem too, where it's like you get a bunch of stuff right out the gate. You're like, man, I'm OP, I'm really strong. And then, like, as the game continues, you're just like, but they've kind of made it so it's like your increase at level 1 is still pretty substantial, but it's it's not just petering off as you go. It's still giving you stuff as you go on.
All right, everybody, head down to the comments. Let us know, what is your favorite new feature of the Cleric in Pathfinder's playtest? I didn't say alpha that time. While you're doing that, hit the subscribe button to help us grow as a channel. Hit the notification bell to get notified whenever we post new content. I promise it doesn't bite. Your cursor will still be there after you click it. Just go ahead and do it, please. When you're done with all that stuff, you could hit us up on Twitter. We like talking to you guys, so if you want to reach out, I'm at QueueTimes on Twitter.
I'm at IndigoQT on Twitter, and you can get a hold of both of us at _QueueTimes.
Or you can go like this.
We've been GameGorgon. We'll see you guys tomorrow.